listening to High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio, presented by VirginiaPreps.com. Now back to your hosts, Matt Hatfield and the coach, Ed Young.
We got a special guest on the line. He is a former state champion head baseball coach of where he is now, the Menchville Monarchs. He was the USA Today 2009 National High School Baseball Coach of the Year. That's quite an honor, Ed. And I believe he is a lifelong Yankees fan like yourself. We say good morning to our good buddy Phil Forbes. Coach, how's life treating you?
Life's treating me good. We're outside on the baseball field, having a hit-a-thon. The sun's shining. I feel very lucky to. I'm not as young as Ed Young, but be standing on my 2 feet out here watching these young kids have fun.
Not bad. Now, your record, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's like, is it 11-2? Does that sound right?
Now, we won last night. It's 12-2.
12-2 now for you guys. Very good. Yeah, I see a 10-0 win over Denby. Looks like Brendan Rogers had 10 strikeouts, led only one hit early in the game to Josh Avery. Brendan had it going, did he not?
He did great. He's a left-handed sophomore. Very good placing the ball. Breaking balls very good. He changes them up real well. He's going to be a good one, and he's also a good hitter for us. He's batting in mid-400s. He's doing very well.
And before I kick it over to Ed here, you've had a couple of crazy comebacks here lately. You overcame an 11-run deficit for a 15-14 home win over Denby about a week or two ago, scored 11 runs in the fourth to pull even, and then you were down 6 runs against Woodside, won 7-6 in that game. I believe it was Dawson Gizik scoring a winner run on Ahmad Golston's sac fly in the bottom of the 8th. You guys have had some crazy comebacks. We might have to call you the comeback kids.
You got me smiling and chills running up my spine. These kids never give up. I do a lot of praying for them and thank the good guy up above. And these kids battle. They're young. And when they make a mistake or don't do well, they hang their heads because they think they're letting the team and me down, but they're really not. My biggest coaching job here is to keep their heads up, make sure they enjoy what they're doing and have fun, and just keep battling, and hopefully we'll have that good knockout at the end and get the win on the scoreboard.
Phil, obviously, when you come back that big, you don't have to pull that motivational talk of, we can do this, we can come back. You already proved it. It's just that as coaches, we tend not to want to be down that much a lot because sooner or later karma gets you. But your kids are doing it, and, of course, you got to place it in the field. You got to pitch. You got to defend it. I know you still got a young team, so let's let you talk about your kids because I know you're very high on them. And, of course, you got to start with one of my favorites. I know he's one of yours too, but obviously he's just another player for you. You have to look at it that way on the field. But Mr. P5, talk about him.
Well, P5 is up the bat right now. We're doing a hit-a-thon and just hit one to the fence. Funny you said that. He's a hard worker. You know how we used to have in basketball and stuff. You had the gym rat and all that good stuff that just never left the field and hung around. And that's what P5 brings to this team. And when he goes home, he has hitting area set up in his garage, and he just works and works and works. And, you know, it's rubbed off on a lot of these young players, and they come over and do the same thing. And it's really a family affair here. These young kids have been together a long time, and I've coached most of them since when they were 10 years old in travel ball with Hitter's Warehouse and stuff. My son P4 and myself have, and so we know them pretty good, and we know the parents well, and this year's a lot of fun. I'm going to be very honest with you. I started a freshman out at catching, doing a superb job behind the plate. In the whole infield, I start one senior, and in the outfield, I start one senior, and they're just exciting to be around each day, and I enjoy being with them. I have Ahmad Golson. You know him from basketball. He's a left-handed pitcher, 4-1. And he also plays first base. He bats cleanup for me, and he's doing super well. I got a senior, Kyle Ortiz, who was first-team all-district last year at third base, and I got him at short, doing very well. And, of course, P5's at second base and pitching. And then I got a sophomore at third base, Cody Abriz, who's a brother to the freshman catcher, Kate Abriz, and they're doing very well. Young man in the outfield, junior, Stephen Cook. Another young man, 10th grader, who's doing very well is Dawson Gusick, center fielder, batting close to 500, a junior, Anthony Hall. And I have another senior out in right field who's doing good leadership role for us, and my leadoff batter, and that's Mac Avery. Very pleased with these young men, Ed, and you know how it does. It energizes you when these kids enjoy coming out here and they work hard and want to do everything to please the team, their teammates, and the coaches. And my coaching staff, we've been together for a long time. But one key factor I'm going to bring in is I got P4, my son, helping. I've got Sam Avery, my pitching coach. And I've got a young man that played for me in 2013, Eric Weinrich, and never started for me till his senior year and did very well. And he can relate to these kids how you got to wait your turn. We have a good thing going here. Work Little League is good to us, and Eric is my motivation man. He makes sure that they know that little things add up to a lot, and you know they do. And it's very energizing for me to be out here.
Phil, you've been doing a long time. What year is this for you in coaching?
Well,
I know you're going to forget.
Old, I don't remember.
I'm going to say probably 35.
No, 42 overall, 32 here, 10 years at the working at the college and high school level in New York.
Well, and if people don't know Phil, he really ages very well, if we can even say ages. He knows how to do it, and of course, you have a great relationship with your kids. Something that I got from you long ago when we became friends when I first got in this area too. And you have the right people under you, and people just don't understand in the coaching business. It makes or breaks a head coach. His assistants, if they could put some energy into that program. A lot of times people think the head coach, the old man, he doesn't have any energy, doesn't really want to be there, cranky, griping, whatever. They want to put these tags on us as head coaches. The bottom line is we still enjoy being out there. Yes, we're a little bit older.
You just gave the Webster Dictionary definition of Coach Phil Forbes. Very good.
Well, but I hear the excitement in your voice, and you got the right guys, and it is kind of neat when guys who played for you come back because they know kind of what makes you tick. They know how the program goes. They know what you expect. It makes things so much easier. You don't have to coach the coaches. When you have to coach players and your assistant coaches, it's taxing on a head coach, and then that's when you got to make changes.
I trust them with every heartbeat that I have. One's an attorney. My son, Mr. Avery, is an executive with Ferguson. My other young man that I just brought aboard works for UPS, but he's getting his teaching degree, and of course he wants to be head coach here at Menchville one day. And right now he's doing the right thing. That's Eric Weinrich, and like I said, Ed, it's like being as we get older, you if you can trust your coaches, you become more like a CEO and try to guide and direct things and make sure things go right. And that's how it's worked out. And we have a good time together.
The problem with that is, as young head coaches, we think we know it all and we have to do it all. And we're trying to show everybody we know what we're doing. We're the greatest there is. As we mature and get older, we realize if you have the right people and you can delegate, you can be more of a factor to your program because you step back, but you don't step out. And you let your coaches coach, and they're under your direction. We know who's in charge. It's not a problem. But as youngsters, we don't understand. As young head coaches, we got to think we know it all, and we carry our playbook around with us, and we try to show too many people we can coach. It's just unfortunate we don't get that wisdom until later, but that's what maturity's all about.
Yeah, I agree with you. These young guys make us old guys look good and feel good, and it's like I said, it's just very energizing, inspirational to be out here around them.
We're chatting with Phil Forbes. He's the head baseball coach of the Menchville Monarchs here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1. Another great season for the Monarchs at 12-2 overall and 42 years at the helm, 32 at Menchville there. Phil Forbes. Coach, you won that state championship back in 2010. Last year you got to the state semifinals. Even though you lost arguably the best player on your team from a year ago in Tyler Knapp now at Longwood, this team has shown some resiliency about them. Give me sort of a way you'd handicap this district and your region outlook, as we talked with Danny Mitchell at Hampton last week, and of course naming the baseball field after him today at noon before their game with Heritage. He's got a fine ball club. Woodside does too. How do you think things shake out the rest of the way?
Well, I think it looks good for the Peninsula District. I know it does, especially in 5A. And then, of course, got to hand it to Woodside. They're doing very well, too. And looks like quite a few of us, hopefully, unless somebody flops, will be in the regionals. And I want to congratulate Danny. He's doing a great job over there at Hampton. He's got a good young crew, and really our whole district is pretty darn tough. And right now, if you look at the 5A standings, there's at least 4 teams from our district that will be in the regionals if it goes as planned the way it is now. But I wouldn't, want to say who's 1, 2, or whatever, because it's not over with yet. You don't know what can happen. But our district's pretty tough this year, and we got some young, quality, good players coming up.
And, of course, also, Phil, when we talk that 5 level, you got that Southeastern District. You got enough people in there. The Nansemond River, my school, and, of course, Hickory, Great Bridge and all that. How does the playoffs work for baseball? I know we don't like jumping way ahead, especially when you got a lot of games to go, but educate us.
Well, it's changed this year. I mean, I think you did in basketball, too. You get 3 wins. You get 3 points for a win and 0 for a loss.
Which is ridiculous, but that's a story for another time.
And, do I like it? No, but that's the way we go. You don't have a first-place automatic bid, and you don't have the tournament. It's gotten away from the camaraderie fun within the coaches, because now you're all worried about you got to have points, and sometimes that makes it where you don't go out and always get the top-notch team that's going to make you better, because that can, if you don't win it, you could lose by 3 points or whatever to get into the regionals, and then you could have all 8 from one area making it. You could have no one from our district and everybody from across the water, and so that's how it goes. And you're just going to match up. And I think the regionals are going to be over at the Pilots Memorial Stadium, and I don't know, but that's what it is, and that's what we have to go with, and so we move on. You know how it is when us. I'm not going to say old school. I'm going to say us old guys do it the right way, but we still have to change and go along with the new times.
Well, Coach, before we let you run, and I know you got some work to do, and I'm sure we'll get you on the show here again sometime very, very soon. You got a great group of underclassmen with your squad, I think, that'll make a run here this season. I want to ask you and Ed this. What's kind of the way that you would go about trying to address the needs to fix some of these things and make the postseason format better? Because I've suggested that you could kind of bring back district tournaments and make it a situation where it'd be double points, or the district champion of the tournament automatically gets in. What's your thought? And Ed, you can follow on with that. What would you do to try to fix it if you had your choice?
Well, my choice number one would be and I guess being an old person, I can say this, let the coaches and athletic directors get together and everybody meet with each region, sit down and talk how to do it, and then come out with a game plan. I think that's the first step we need to do. Until that's done, it's not going to be done, because everybody else above us are making all the decisions, and we're the ones that have to be in it, and we're the ones that have to participate and be active.
Well, I agree 100%. Don't get me started. We have no say in what goes, but then when things don't kind of go our way, we have to step in front of the microphone and say it's our fault. We need to have our say. I know principals run the show, athletic directors are directors, but we're the coaches. We should have some say, especially veteran coaches as ourselves. I remember as a young coach going to coaches' meetings, basically keeping my mouth shut because I was the young coach, and then saying, wait till I become a veteran, I got things to say. Well, now I got things to say. Nobody wants to listen because they all want it their way, and they're doing it the least possible way for them. The least time they have to put in, the least amount. And I don't care what anybody says, and I'll say it to anybody's face. That's just the way it is. Let us make the decisions that affect us. Let us go in a room and duke it out, so to speak, and then come out with the best, the teams the way they should be put. Just ridiculous. You get 3 points for a win, and that's it. I mean, come on. Now, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it. Like I said, I don't understand. My athletic director, Greg Henderson, who does a very good job, just tells me what we got to do, and that's what we got to do.
And I'm not downing those guys and ladies personal. I'm just saying we should have much more say in what goes on. And it's like that we're not smart enough to do that, and I don't like that.
Well, and oftentimes the AD's hands are tied to a certain extent with some of these decisions. But I'm sure we'll have plenty more time to go into this in depth. And, Coach, a great season you guys are having, 12-2. Keep it rolling, and I'm sure we'll chat soon.
I want to say one thing. Go Yankees.
Yes,
Go
come on.
Go Monarchs. And once again, thank you guys for all you do for high school sports. I enjoy listening to you, and you guys do a great job, and I can't wait till the next time.
Appreciate it.
You know we're going to get you on because you're going to keep on winning, and P5 will keep things going. So, hey, is there a P6 anywhere?
We don't talk about that yet because he's too young now. I got a little 3-year-old grandson that's we got batting left-handed named Mason. His dad's 6'5", and I let my daughter marry him because hopefully one day we can have a Forbes that can also dunk.
Oh,
he'll look good, and he'll look good in red and black.
Oh boy, Ed's already trying to get him over there.
I got to get over there and recruit that youngster now.
All right.
Thank
All right,
you,
Phil,
Coach.
keep winning.
Thank
And
you.
it's the one and only Phil Forbes, head baseball coach of the Menchville Monarchs, with us here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com. We didn't even get to ask him about if he got an award for that 2009 USA Today National High School Coach of the Year.
Got a year's subscription to USA Today.
He got a free. That would be nice. Which would you rather have if you had gotten that? A free subscription to the paper or like a big plaque? If you had your choice.
Subscription to the paper.
You'd rather have a subscription to the paper. Okay.
Yeah,
You'd
plaque
say
after
get
a
the
while,
plaque away, yeah.
Yeah, plaques mean
Well, that's
nothing.
true. You lose things like your ring.
Got my ring, people.
Yeah,
I don't need to give out the reward. I gave myself the reward.
Thank God you gave Jalen Holmes' ring right back to him last week.
Oh, that was nice.
I was
That was
worried
a
to
big
death
thing.
when you did that.
I was hoping he looked the other way. But nah, he's from Norfolk. You don't mess with somebody's ring from Norfolk.
You know who else is from